Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. That means once again we are going to be reviewing TNA. As you know, we'll be heading to Rebellion, one of the most biggest pay-per-views of the year, and of course, certain matches are set before we get there. But we do have some interesting matches taking place. We do have a number one contendership for the X Division title. Jordan Grace defends her Knockouts World title against Tasha Steelz, and plenty much action. But, however, in Ring of Honor, as you know, we continue with the semifinals of the ROH Women's World Television Title Tournament. We're going to see who will be our last two competitors that will face each other until a Super Card of Honor. And then, of course, for the main event, it features of Anna Jay taking on Mina Shirakawa, who makes her ROH debut. But first things first, we got the latest GLEAT show with G Pro Wrestling version 70 that originally happened on the 16th of March, but it was just recently been uploaded on their YouTube channel. So we're going to be seeing what matches took place. We also noticed the war between both Bulk Orchestra and BGI continues to take its toll. And then, of course, we move on with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are putting out, who's booked, what matches are set, any signed wrestlers. We also got some developments, but also we're going to be talking some recent updates with the number one promotion in the Yoshi world, Stardom. Some interesting developments I think many of you are going to be very interesting to hear about. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something interesting has arose in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be talked about. We also do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff as well. But if you like this episode, please click on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions are set aside. I believe it's time to get the show on the road, and I believe we should begin with GLEAT. Okay, our very first review, GLEAT with G Pro version 70. Nothing too significant about this, but certain storylines do arose. One of them is, of course, it started up with Bulk Orchestra doing a promo. Now they will be involved in a main event against BGI, Black Generation International, who are determined to prove that they are now the ones in full control of GLEAT. But Bulk Orchestra has proven that that's why they are the number one promotion in the number one faction in the promotion. As you know, Hayato Tamura is the current G-Rex champion, which is the top title in the promotion. But we will see what happens in that main event. Right now, let's get the show on the road with the first match. We have trios action taking place. We have JD Lee, he teams up with Magnitude, Kishiwada, and Minoru Tanaka. They take on Jun Tonsho, Michiko, and of course, Kaz Hayashi. It's no secret, of course, that Minoru Tanaka and Kaz Hayashi are tag partners and friends. Friendly competition doesn't hurt. But, however, you all would think, how will this match end? Well, there's too many variables on here. JD Lee is a very young wrestler out of Korea. You would think that he would have some very interesting advantages. Michiko, one of the most toughest Yoshi wrestlers, who's not afraid to throw down with the men. But in the end, it was Minoru Tanaka with the armbar onto Jun Tonsho that put him away, forcing him to tap out. Now we do see singles action. We have Issei Onizuka taking on Soma Watanabe. Now, nothing too significant, but of course we have seen Soma Watanabe. Very fascinating. Those who are not familiarized with him, he is like I like to call him Kota Ibushi 2.0 because he grew up watching Kota Ibushi. There is a moment where they did face off each other. I mean, I can't wait to see. Hopefully, they do have that one-on-one match against each other. But nonetheless, Soma Watanabe continues to impress us. He even applied, I don't know what kind of move it was. It looks more like a seatbelt, the kind of move that we've seen Kota Ibushi or Mina Shirakawa tried. And that sealed the deal for him to pick up the win by a pinfall. Now, our next match is a UWF Rules Tag Team match. We have Riki Aitaka and Tetsuya Izushi. Now, recently, these two guys were on the opposite side of each other in a recent UWF tag team match, but today they are, in fact, in a tag match. Together, they face against Izuka and Seki Ikimoto. So that kind of sets it up. But, however, I have to say, we have seen how these wrestlers are these guys are when it comes to the UWF, but it was of course Izushi with the leg lock onto Izuka just like that to pick up the win. So it's very impressive. I mean, I remember Tetsuya Izushi wasn't that good with the UWF, but he grew up so great to learn from it. Our next match, we have singles competition. We have Junji taking on Quiet Storm. Now, Junji is a wrestler based out of China. He is very impressive for what he does, but however, he has his hands full against Quiet Storm, who is a big dude. You know, much bigger, much more muscle. So you would think that this is going to be a bit of the David versus Goliath type of style. I mean, Junji actually took every hit that he got from Quiet Storm, but however, the final blow was in fact the lariat, and just like that, um, Quiet Storm got the W. Next match, we have a bit of a showdown between the faction Strong Hearts. Team number one, we have El Lindaman teaming up with one half of the G Infinity Tag Champions Shima. They face on their brethren T-Hawk and Takehito Yumamura. A very interesting development between these two guys because, I mean, we know that strong hearts are always up for competition, even especially if it's against each other. I wasn't too sure how this was going to be, but however, um, it was T Hawk who pinned Shima. Now, I don't know if this rule applies for T Hawk. Now, those who do remember this or not, recently I reviewed a GLEAT event, GLEAT version 10, I believe. That one features, of course, Shima participated with Kaz Hayashi for the G Infinity tag titles. Does this mean that T Hawk will challenge for those belts? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. He was also involved in that. He teamed up with Seki Yoshioka but failed. So I don't know what that would mean. But if that's the case, we'll see. However, much of the other members of Strong Hearts even showed up, especially former member Issei Onizuka. I have to say the only reason that he showed up is because the Strong Hearts self-produced show is coming up. However, they get a surprise message from their brethren all the way from Germany. We're talking about Shigehiro Iri, who's mostly been wrestling in Europe, most likely, but Uh, I'm going to say he is coming back. Now, our next match, I think this is a rematch for what happened at version 10. Takanori Ito takes on So Daimonji, who, now, if you guys remember last time, Daimonji beat Ito, but it was a freaking doozy for the way it is. But you would think that Ito would try something different away from what happened. Now, of course, the Munji will probably stick to the same habit he did last time, but it did not do any well for him because it was Ito who put him away with the German suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. So just like that, they were done. Now, our main event, we have Bulk Orchestra consisting of Kaz Sakamoto, Ryuichi Kawakami, Hayato Tamura and Check Shimatami taking on the guys from Black Generation International, BGI. We have Jordan Oliver, Hartley Jackson, Kotaro Suzuki, and Kato Ishida. Now, keep in mind, Generation International has always trying to prove that they are now the number one faction in GLEAT, but in fact, it's right now Borg Orchestra. The reason I say now it's them is because Hayato Tamura is the current G-Rex champion. So I say by interest and fairness, it's them. But they have to get through these guys. Now you would think there's going to be some interesting developments in this. I think it was. However, it was of course a cross the crucifix bomb. Back checked Shimatani to Jordan Oliver and picked up the win. But however, during the post match, BGI did not take this loss kindly, so they attacked every last member of Borg Orchestra to send a direct message. But however, I don't know what Borg Orchestra said afterwards, but I'm sure they'll be okay. We'll see how things will go between these two factions down the road, but I think that's pretty much it right now with GLEAT. So I think it's time to move on to our next review, and that is TNA. Okay, TNA. Now, as you know, we're heading straight to Rebellion, so anything could happen before that. But let's begin on how this whole started. Now, Mustafa Ali, our current X Division champion, showed up to join the commentary because apparently they were looking for a number one contender that would face him at Rebellion. So we have, of course, Leon Slater. You guys may have seen him in the UK, and he's an amazing wrestler based out of RevPro. So he's great to be there. Then we have, of course, Chris Bay, a former X Division champion. We have Alan Angels. We know he had made plays for the X Division Championship. Uh, it's great that he will be in this. And of course, we have Jason Hotch, who is trying to ensure that this match does not go in favor for any opponent against Mustafa Ali. And then, of course, there's Kevin Knight, someone, of course, that Mustafa Ali tried to take out, but let's see how that rolls. But we have the unorthodox wrestler in the X Division, Jake something. Now, Mustafa Ali is like saying, "What the hell?" He's not supposed to be in here, but he misunderstood what the X Division means. Now, those who aren't familiarized with TNA, with the DX Division title, it means no limits. There is no weight class involved. There's nothing like that, or it's a special type of criteria. That's the thing that Mustafa Ali does not understand. He thinks X Division means high flying, extreme stuff. No. I mean, if you guys remember, Josh Alexander himself, he wasn't a flippy guy, but he made the X Division worth it. And I think that set the tone for that because it shows we don't need wrestlers who are in fact high flyers. And I think that's one of the things that Mustafa Ali misinterpreted. So he looks more like he wants to fix this problem, but you can't fix it. But I think the bigger threat in this particular match, well, mostly you got to deal with Hotch, who ensured he does not want none of these guys to win. But the bigger threat in this match, it had to be Jake something, which of course it did. But he put that moron Hotch into the void, and 1, 2, 3, he is our brand new X Division champion, number one contender. And this is going to put Mustafa Ali in a pickle, so he will do what he can to stop it, but I highly doubt it. Now, once again, Dirty Dango with his dumb antics, all this and that. He seems humiliated after how things have turned out, but yeah, I wouldn't be crying a river for him. Now, Gia Miller went to do an interview with AJ Francis and Rich Swann after what happened last week. However, AJ Francis and Rich Swann are very proud of what they did, but they said that they're going to make that statement next week. So we are going to be waiting to see. Now, we did see Diener do a promo talk about his past decisions. I mean, he feels like it needed to change. Some things have to change. So that kind of thing. But of course, the grizzled young vets showed up, sick and tired of his whining. But however, the grizzled young vets forgot one thing. They had to contempt with Time Splinter, Kushida and Alex Shelley, who, of course, this match was initiated last week thanks to Alex Shelley. So I thought it was a very interesting thing. But the honesty to me is, can these two coexist after Kushida actually cost Alex Shelley the match? But it seems like they got over it. But it was Kushida with the hoverboard lock onto James Drake, and just like that, it was over. Give me a second. Love that water. Anyway, um, our very own ring commentator, Tom, did an interview with Alex Hammerstone. Now, Hammerstone explained that this is not his first rodeo appearing in TNA. He said he has been there before back in 2018. However, we do know what happened to Hard to Kill and just recently in Sacrifice. So he gave his honest opinions about that. But sooner or later, we do know that he will come cross paths with Josh Alexander after what happened in Sacrifice. So that's going to be interesting. Our next match was the TNA Digital Media Championship. PCO challenges a Crazy Steve. Now you would think that this match was going to fall into favor for PCO because he's a guy who refuses to die. But however, someone who refuses to let go of how he lost, we're talking about Khan, was the one thing that actually put in a perspective. But however, it was Crazy Steve with the roll up. But this feud between Khan and PCO continues once again. So I thought this would have been over, but no. Now, as you know, the TNA Knockouts tag team titles are now being watched for live by two different tag teams, the K and, of course, MK Ultra. So it's no secret that these two teams would love nothing more to get back the belts that they lost. So we will see where that leads. Now, Eric Young, as you know, back in Sacrifice, he was so close in winning the TNA World title, but he said he's not done with moves, but at the moment he has one thing to contempt. That is, of course, Frankie Kazarian. So he put him in a stipulation match called Full Metal Mayhem, but the real question is, will Frank Kazarian accept it? We don't know, but I'm sure we're all going to find out. Our next match, we have Ash by Elegance taking on Celia Sparks. I have seen her before, but it's been a while since we've seen her. Uh, I can tell you this match ended with Ash by Elegance, and then she applied the Swanton Bomb. However, she decided to uh, accumulate more Spark, but luckily Zaya Brookside was there to stop her, which she did. But however, Ash by Elegance has not forgotten the last time these two cross paths, so we will see what happens until then. Now, Nick Menace, as you know, put out a promo about him intending what he's planning to do. He will get a title shot of the TNA World title at Rebellion. However, Moose and his cronies, the system, believe that there is no way in the world that Nick Menace is going to walk out as the TNA World Champion. We will see about that. Now, our main event, we have the TNA Knockouts World title. Tasha Steelz, who once had that belt, takes on the Juggernaut, uh, Jordan Grace. Now, this match was so intense, too, and also very brutality. You wouldn't imagine how much intense this match would be. You would have thought that maybe Jordan Grace would have had lost the belt. Nope. She was able to overturn it and apply the Juggernaut driver, and just like that, she retained the title. So now the question does remain, who will be the next competitor to challenge her for the Knockouts World title? Well, that's going to be another conversation for another time. So we will see until then. But for right now, let's move on with our next review, and I believe that is Ring of Honor. Okay, ROH. Now, as you know, we are now setting the table, of course, for Super Card of Honor. Among them is the ROH Women's World Television title. So we are now entering the semifinals, but we're going to see who will walk out to step in as the finals at Super Card of Honor. First, we have Mercedes Martinez versus Billy Starks. Now, we know that Mercedes Martinez it was the former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Now she faces against a prodigy who, in fact, is determined to win this belt. That is her main goal from here on out. But, however, the one thing that Billy Starks needs to contempt is none other than Diamante, who's a pain in the butt, trying to ensure that this match will fall into favor. Now, you would think that Billy Stark's primary weapons would have been the one thing factor that could help her win this match. It had no effect. However, she did roll her up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Billy Starks is in the finals. However, who will be her opponent? Well, we have two competitors, Queen Aminata and Red Velvet. I was so impressed by this match completely. Like, we have seen Red Velvet. I mean, we haven't forgotten from day one when she first arrived. Queen Aminata, I've been impressed by her when I first heard of her. I have to say, what a great match. I loved it. So I was a bit biased. Like, how is this going to end? I wasn't too sure. But it was Queen Aminata's headbutt that, in fact, made the deciding factor. So at the finals, it's going to be Queen Aminata versus Billy Starks, and one of those two will walk out as the first ever Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. We will see that at Super Card of Honor next month. Now, Lexi Neer conducts an interview with Kiera Hogan, apparently because of what happened at the tournament for the Ring of Honor Women's World Television title. She has her fair issues towards Diamante, so she put out a match against her, and that match will take place next week. Our next match, we have Lee Johnson taking on a guy named London Lightning. Don't know who he is, but I can tell you that this match ended in Lee Johnson when he applied that one finisher, and just like that, it was over. Now, Lexi Neer conducts an interview with Teo Valkyrie and her husband Johnny TV. She wanted to know the progress of the boys. They were about to say it, but unfortunately, Dalton Castle, who's demanding his boys back, well, Johnny Bravo told them that they were in Canada and they were eaten by bears. So basically, he was unhappy. You know, Lexi tried to comfort him about, he has other boys right there. He's like, no, those are the extras. He likes the ones that they took from him. But of course, Lexi told him to stop interrupting her interview time, and he wasn't listening. I think he's still dealing with this whole mess. But yeah. Now our next match, we have Rachel Ellering taking on Hikaru Shida. This is going to be a very interesting warm up for Hikaru Shida. However, while the match was going to take place, Athena decided to take a front row seat into that. But one thing I did like is, of course, Hikaru Shida is trying to intimidate or start something with Athena. She tossed Rachel towards her to send a direct message, but you would think that would antagonize her. No, but the entire time Athena was hoping that Rachel can put her away. It did not do any well because it was Hikaru Shida with the katana. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now Lexi conducts another interview, but this time with Kara Hogan's opponent for next week, Diamante. She also had some things to say, so she's looking forward to see what's going to happen at that time. Now, our next match, we have Matt Sydal versus TJ Crawford. Pretty good match. Not the best, but it was a good one. But I can tell you this match ended with Matt Sydal applying the Meteora, and just like that, it was completely over. Now, we do see a little video promo from Eddie Kingston talked about, as you know, he laid out the challenge for the ROH world television, the world title to Mark Briscoe. So he decided, I'm going to bring back the old Eddie Kingston that didn't give a damn about anything or anybody. So that's going to be a very, very interesting thing. Now, the Minions, Billy Starks and Lexington are celebrating the fact that, of course, Billy Starks is in the finals for the ROH Women's World Television title. However, Athena, well, you could say she is probably proud of her, but she is not happy because holy Sheeta pissed her off. Yes, so don't blame her, but that's how it rolled up. Now, our main event, we have Anna Jay. sorry, sorry, such a butterfingers. Anyway, Anna Jay taking on Mina Shirakawa, who makes her ROH debut. I guess many of you who are Stardom fans probably are happy, or you're just simply Mina Shirakawa fans. Yeah, you would thought this match was going to be very impressive. I think she had a good pop in this. Not the biggest, but a really good one, knowing that there are people that know who she is. Those who didn't know who she is were in for a treat because she is one of the rising stars in Stardom. You would think that Anna Jay, who is the homegrown girl in the promotion, would have picked up the win. No, Mina Shirakawa applied the glamorous collection Mina. 1, 2, 3. It was over just like that. She picked up her first win. She did state it on her X account that this thing between her and Anna Jay is just the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if Mina Shirakawa invites her to join EXV. Because I think many people are questioning one thing. Those who know this, Anna Jay is in fact dating Jack Perry. So some people say, why not send her to Japan so she and Jack Perry can be together? I mean, that is obvious, but we'll just wait and see. But right now, I think many fans are happy to see Mina. That's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens next week. But here on out, after that, we don't know how things will go until we get to Super Card of Honor. But for right now, I think we'll just end things like this and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with, of course, updates with the promotions on their upcoming events. Now, as you know, by the end of this month, RevPro has their upcoming event, Revolution Rumble. They just announced another name, Shaw Samuels. Now, those who aren't familiarized with Shaw Samuels, he is in fact close friends with Noam Dar. If you guys ever seen NXT UK, Shaw Samuels was the guy who plays bets whenever Noam Dar was in a match for the NXT UK Heritage Cup. He's going to be participating in this event, so it's kind of interesting to hear. But Deadlock Pro Wrestling will have their upcoming live event, Live 6. They just announced Miyuki Takase, our current DPW Women's Champion, will be present, and this will be on April 1st. However, it was also announced that Miyuki will be defending her title, but the name of the opponent is still unclear yet. Hopefully, it will be a good match. Spark, Joshi Puroresu of America has announced for the Trailblaze event on the 7th of April. Yoshi legend Kyoko Inoue will be there. Now, those who are unfamiliarized with her, Kyoko Inoue is the founder and owner of the Yoshi promotion, World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana. It's not a big promotion, but has small talent, but it's pretty good. I think I enjoyed watching that as well. GCW has announced talent assigned for the Strong Silent Type that will take place on the 27th of April. We have Joey Janela, Brandon Kirk, his wife Casey Cattell, and of course Ali Catch will be there. Now, GCW's announced for their Tournament of Survival 9 event that will take place on June 6th. The second entrant who will be involved in this will be none other than Hideyoshi Kamitani. So he will be involved in that. Now let's move on to some developments. If you guys remember last year, there was a bit of a new type organization called the United Japan Pro Wrestling. Now these are promotions that are involved in Japan, such as Stardom, New Japan, Tokyo Pro Wrestling, DDT, Noah, Dragon Gate, and other promotions that will be under the same banner. However, they announced they will do a press conference starting on the 26th of March. However, you can, if you guys want to see this press conference, it will take place on the Stardom YouTube channel. I don't know about the New Japan channel, but that's the information I got. For any Marika Kobashi fans, I don't know if I have any international subscribers. She'll be making her presence known on March 31st in South Korea for the New Korea Pro Wrestling Association. The only reason I put this out because if you guys have ever been to South Korea, yes, there is pro wrestling down there. That's why I like to do this because I can tell you guys there's pro wrestling everywhere, wherever you go. But yeah. Now, Yota Tsuji, as you know, he is our winner for the New Japan Cup. He had this to say during a press conference. Let me pull it up. Here it is. This is what he had to say. I want to make it clear how much IWGP means. I should take the IWGP title, separate it again, and officially retire the Intercontinental and carry the heavyweight. I would want the fourth generation Internet IWGP heavyweight title. So apparently he wants to destroy this one and bring back the old title that was very prestigious at the time. If you guys remember that title, that was the version 4. So it's kind of interesting that that's what he wants. Now, Tony Khan, this was reported by Wrestle Talk about a potential AEW Hall of Fame in the future. And of course, Tony Khan talked about possibly having Sting and Brody Lee as the potential inductees. I have to say, why not? I would like to see that. So that's going to be interesting here. Now, for our updates with Stardom, we have tons of stuff that's going to be talked about. You may remember Rossy Ogawa last month in February. He was fired from Stardom due to the fact that he was caught poaching talent to go to his new promotion. However, he was told that he was going to be leaving this month, but they fired him a month ahead of schedule. However, there was still no indications who will be staying, who will be leaving. Now we do know that Julia, she never renewed her contract. She will be leaving. We do know Mayu Itani has a long-term contract with Bushiroad, so that's going to be difficult. However, it was now announced by Tokyo Sports 4 more names have been announced other than Julia that will be leaving. We have Utami Hayashida. That's going to be a major blow right there. I mean, she is one of the aces from my understanding. We have Mirai, who will be leaving too. Mirai recently made a cryptic comment about her time was running out, so it looks more like she's leaving. So is Mai Sakurai. Very interesting. I don't know if it's because she wanted to follow Julia. We do know she is Julia's protege and she worship her. I don't know if that was the main reason, but she will be leaving too. And to my surprising, um, from what hearing, who else will be leaving? Yuzuki, our winner for the 2023 Stardom Rookie of Stardom, also is leaving. I'm like, whoa. I did not expect that coming from her, but wow. I mean, she just recently joined Stars and now she's leaving. Wow. Unbelievable. Now, in relations to Utami Hayashida, as you know, she is the leader of Queen's Quest. But however, certain fans went on to a social media and question, does this mean Azumi will take command as leader? I mean, if those who don't know, Azumi is in fact one of the last close people that's been around Io Sky. She was part of Queen's Quest when Io Sky was the leader, and she is the only original member left standing. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I say Azumi should take command as leader of the unit. But yes, so that's what I gotta say. Now, as you know, there will be two more events coming up from Stardom this weekend, and they announced for the original Golden Generation to team up this Saturday. There's going to be a tag match taking place. Utame Yashida, Maika Saikamitani, and Saya Ida will be teaming up. They will be facing against Julia, Zuzu Suzuki, Mei Sita, and Mai Sakurai. So I don't know what other matches will be taking place for this, but I will be, in fact, paying attention. Now, for the Sunday event, they even announced a very surprising thing, and I think many of you who are big fans of this faction, DDM will be making their appearance one last time before. And as you know, Julia and Mai Sakurai will be leaving soon. They announced that they will be reuniting. So Julia and Mai Sakurai are part of that one-time reunion. They will have Shuri, Maika, Natsupoi, and Mirai. They all will be together in the match. They will be facing against. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh, yes, they'll be in a match against Sairo Ryunoi, Tam Nakano, Sayaka Kurata, Ami Sori, and Saki Kashima and Rana Yagami. So they will be part of that. Now, for the Sunday event, we do know that the New Blood Tag Team titles will be defended. Hanan and Saida will defend their belt against Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama. Now, the real question is, will this be the beginning for Hana to drop the belt and now make her the white belt champion? That's something that's unclear, but I wouldn't mind if that's the case. So we will see. We do have Otame Ayashida facing off against the one person she invited to join Queen's Quest, Miyu Amasaki. If you guys remember, it was Utami Ayashida who was her opponent for her debut, and it makes perfect sense. We do have a three-way tag team match. FWC, Koguma and Azuki will be facing against Mina Shirakawa and Xena of EXV. And then, of course, there's Zuzuki and Meisira, better known as Crazy Star. We do have another trios match. We have Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Ruka. They take on against Queen's Quest, Sai Kamitani, Azumi, and Lady C. We do have another tag match. We have Mayu Iwatani, Yuzuki. They take on Starlight Kid and Rina. And then finally, we have like this bit of a, how do I say this? Um, Tropical Judgment or something like that. Yuna Mizumori will be judging Aya Sakura, who is the latest apprentice to join Cosmic Angels. So we'll see how that's going to grow. Now, this particular match will take place this Sunday. This event will take place this Sunday in Kyoto at the KBS Hall, which is, of course, the hometown of Miyu Amasaki and Hanako. So it would make sense that if Hanako wins these tag belts in her hometown, it would be golden for her. So we'll see how that rolls up from here on out. But for right now, we'll end things as it is at this point. Let's just call it a day. Okay, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we had Rampage this Wednesday, so we're just gonna have um, NXT Level Up. So I haven't decided yet. Now I haven't seen the last of the GCW event. I think that one is so much fun. I'm considering watching that. I'm way behind on Noah and All Japan Pro Wrestling and several other events. But we will see what happens until then. But for now, that's what I'm going to be focused on. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm going to just roll the dice on this one. So, but we'll see. So right now, this is what we have. And I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.